it can open your eyes. One book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power. Read and rise higher. 9R Tree. Better life begins in a book.
Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9R Tree's podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. The Like Switch, by former FBI agent Jack Schafer, distills field-tested rapport strategies into practical steps anyone can use to become more persuasive, likable, and influential. Drawing on years of recruiting sources and interviewing witnesses, Schafer explains how small behavioral signals shape trust, how to approach people without triggering resistance, and how to move from stranger to ally with intention. The book blends psychology, nonverbal communication, and conversational techniques into a toolkit you can apply at work, in sales, on teams, in negotiations, and in personal relationships. What makes the material compelling is its emphasis on simple microbehaviors that compound into large relationship gains, along with memorable frameworks that guide everyday interactions. You learn how to read others accurately, steer conversations toward mutual benefit, and convert goodwill into long-term cooperation. The result is a research-backed, highly usable playbook for making people feel safe, seen, and respected while advancing shared goals. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, the friend formula and the likability blueprint. A core framework in the book is the friend formula, which explains how frequency, proximity, duration, and intensity of contact drive relationship formation. Schafer shows how purposeful exposure and quality time build comfort, while small positive intensifiers such as warmth, shared laughter, and helpfulness accelerate trust. He pairs the formula with a set of approach signals that lower social defenses, including a brief eyebrow flash, head tilt, genuine smile, and open torso. These cues communicate you are safe and friendly before a word is spoken. The book then translates the blueprint into step-by-step actions, such as planning brief but consistent touchpoints, stacking short interactions into longer ones, and gradually increasing personal disclosure only after signs of mutual readiness. Schafer stresses that likability is not a fixed trait, but a behavior pattern you can train. Practiced consistently, these microbehaviors move you along a path from stranger to acquaintance to friend to trusted ally. Secondly, nonverbal mastery for instant rapport. Schafer teaches nonverbal intelligence as a decisive career and life skill. He maps how orientation, posture, and distance signal affiliation or threat, and how to calibrate them to context. Sitting at a slight angle rather than head-on reduces perceived confrontation. Mirroring pace and gestures, keeping hands visible with relaxed palms, and aligning your feet toward the person all convey openness. Voice tone, cadence, and volume carry as much meaning as words. A calm, slightly slower delivery with upward inflection signals interest and allows others space to contribute. The book explains first impression windows, measured in seconds, and how to pre-plan your entry signals to make them count. It also covers reading others without overconfidence by looking for clusters rather than single cues, and by establishing a baseline of typical behavior before spotting deviations. With practical do and avoid lists, Schafer helps you project warmth and credibility while accurately gauging the emotional temperature in the room. Thirdly, strategic conversation that validates and persuades, beyond body language. The book lays out verbal techniques that win hearts and minds. Schafer prioritizes validation, the skill of reflecting feelings and viewpoints without necessarily agreeing. He shows how to ask high-value, open questions that invite stories rather than yes-no replies, and how to use minimal encouragers such as brief nods and short verbal prompts to keep others talking. Paraphrasing the core message confirms understanding and lowers defensiveness. Strategic compliments work best when they highlight effort, character, or specific contributions rather than generic traits. Schafer also teaches conversational threading, where you pick a detail in a response to open a new lane, sustaining flow without interrogation. He recommends memory hooks such as repeating names and anchoring details to visual images to improve recall and deepen connection later. The chapter on exits demonstrates how to leave people wanting more by ending on appreciation and a clear reason to reconnect, reinforcing the friend formula over time. Fourthly, overcoming resistance with psychological jujitsu. Influence often fails because pressure triggers reactance. Schafer offers gentle methods that redirect resistance without confrontation. Labeling emotions reduces intensity by acknowledging what the other person feels. Reframing shifts focus from positions to interests, uncovering the why behind a no, and creating space for creative options. Offering limited choices preserves autonomy and boosts compliance because people prefer to choose rather than be told. The book explores commitment and consistency through small yes steps that build momentum ethically, as well as reciprocity through genuine, unsolicited value. Schafer discusses the Ben Franklin effect, where asking for a small favor can actually increase liking by prompting people to align their self-image with helpful behavior. He stresses timing, advising that you pause or pivot when you see threat cues, and re-engage only after safety is restored. The goal is collaborative problem-solving, not coercion, and the techniques help you win agreement while protecting relationships. Lastly, trust, deception cues, and digital age dynamics. Schafer explains how to assess credibility with discipline rather than guesswork. Start by establishing a behavioral baseline in a neutral context, then look for clusters of changes in posture, tone, and timing that appear when a sensitive topic arises. He warns against single cue myths and teaches you to weigh context. Verbal indicators such as overly vague timelines, distancing language, or unnecessary justifiers may signal discomfort, but only when grouped and inconsistent with the baseline. He emphasizes ethics and the importance of rapport to reduce fear-based signals that can masquerade as deception. The book also updates likability for online life. Profile photos with open body language, well-lit eyes, and gentle smiles create instant approachability. In messages, concise subject lines, clear structure, and a warm, respectful tone replace in-person cues. Responsiveness without overtexting signals reliability. Even in digital spaces, the friend formula still applies through consistent, value-adding touchpoints that build a durable trust reservoir. In conclusion, the like switch is ideal for professionals in sales, leadership, management, teaching, healthcare, and law, as well as students, introverts, and anyone seeking stronger relationships. If you network, pitch, negotiate, coach, or simply want smoother everyday interactions, this book gives you ready-to-use tools grounded in real-world FBI experience. Its advantage over generic communication guides lies in precise behavioral detail, clear frameworks, and ethical emphasis. You learn exactly which signals to send, how to read others without guesswork, and how to guide conversations toward mutual gain. The practices pay off quickly with better first impressions, easier collaboration, and fewer conflicts, and they compound over time into trust, opportunity, and influence. Investing in this book means investing in a repeatable system for rapport, not just tips. Compared with alternatives, its field-tested checklists and memorable formulas make it easier to apply today and build a lifetime habit of connection. If you would like to support Jack Schafer, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.
1 minute can open your eyes. 1 book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power, read and rise higher. 9 Tree, better life begins in a book.